So we've come into the space, come into the room, come into ourselves, come into the event. We now come into the process. Any process has three stages: the beginning, the middle, and the end. And each of these three stages also has three stages: the beginning, the middle, and the end of each, giving us 9 distinct qualitative points. The beginning of the beginning, the middle of the beginning, the end of the beginning, the beginning of the middle of the middle, the end of the middle, the beginning of the end, the middle of the end, and the end of the end. Each of the three main stages have their own liminal zones, characterized by ambiguity, hazard, and opportunity. In a word, uncertainty. There are no guarantees that any process will succeed merely by remaining in motion. There are weak moments at certain points in any process where the process will naturally go off course. These weak moments require intervention, adjustment, and redirection to keep the process moving on course. There are three qualities of time at work in a process: sequential or clock time, eternity, and hyparxis or creative time. Now, within our experience, bypassing these lofty words, we experience these as one thing after another: synchronicity, an opportunity, and the timeless moment. Creative time is timeless. This is where decision, choice, and commitment come to bear on the weak moments in the process and keep it on course. Creative time is also non-causal, so the end may reach back and set the beginning in motion. There are three qualities of ending: a finish, a conclusion, and a completion. In a finish, something is lost. In a conclusion, nothing much has been gained, nothing much has been lost. A completion is a new beginning. A completion is a transformation. Something is not as it was when it began, noting that neither is it otherwise. Transformation is ontological. That is, there is a change in being through the process. For example, sounds become notes, notes become music. An instrumentalist becomes a musician. Even a guitarist who began playing tone deaf and with no sense of rhythm. So a learning process has the three main stages of injunction, application, and verification. Injunction, we're given instruction. Application, we act on the material we've been given and make it our own. And verification, we present it to someone with experience and competency to assess the quality of our work. Of our 9 distinct qualitative stages, point 7 is validation with a competent authority, assesses our work. Validation, the question is, does this work? Philologically, is this strong? Point 8 is verification. Philologically, is this true? And point 9 is the end, a conclusion, a finish, or a completion. Now, we've moved into 50 minutes. I'm assuming that you followed me for 45 of these, and you're beginning to twitch. All right. A musician's process. We begin with the instrument, we move to the notes or repertoire, we move to the music. Those are the 3 stages. The instrument, the notes, the music. The beginning of the beginning, we act on the instrument from the outside. The middle of the beginning, we move inside the instrument. The end of the beginning, the instrument becomes an extension of the body. The beginning of the middle, we play the notes. The middle of the middle, we move inside the notes. The end of the middle, the notes move inside us. The beginning of the end, we play the music. The middle of the middle, we move inside the music. The end of the middle, the music moves inside us. A performance process. At point 6 of our 9 distinct qualitative points, the audience walks in the room. An ideal audience is sufficiently competent to judge the merits of the performer. Sorry, I'm beginning to laugh. That was involuntary. Nevertheless, an ideal audience will be sufficiently competent to judge the work of the performer. For the performer, exposure to public ridicule, there is nothing like it to galvanize the attention. All right.